How's it going, peeps? Welcome back to Viva La Coin. I am Joe. I will be your host for today's episode, and this is going to be the first video in a little mini series covering altcoins because I believe, based on previous data and our timelines, that we are right on the cusp of a very nice altcoin season in the midst of this bull run. And the last one actually occurred over the summer into the fall of last year. And I'm going to break down what metrics are showing that that's about to happen and what is cross compared to show that these altcoins are about to move again. What altcoins I am particularly buying or hopeful on across the exchanges that I use in each video to follow. And I'm going to cover Coinbase, Voyager, Binance US, and so on, and give you a better idea of why I believe those specific altcoins are good holds for the time being, based on not bullshit price shilling, not, oh, this one's going to 100x because I said so. I'm going to try and look at the fundamentals of each crypto in those videos and tell you why I'm bullish on them, why I think that they could be successful. And ultimately, none of this is financial advice. I might just get a neck tattoo that says I'm not a financial advisor. And if everything turns out in crypto, then I won't have to worry about that affecting my employment. But until then, just know this is all educational. Don't just go and, pull all your money and throw it in there without doing your own research. Let's just go ahead and jump into the basics as to why I think this altcoin season is about to get underway. So real quick to start out, just to take a quick look at the overall space. So Bitcoin down a little bit from yesterday at 57.3. And I keep cautioning people that we have a big CME futures date coming up on March 26th. So next Friday. And all that means is that all the people betting on the price of Bitcoin are all fighting over trying to dump the price or to affect those futures as much as they can. And historically, over the past couple months, that last Friday of each month in January and February, we saw a very sharp downturn or flash crash as they tried to dip that price. So if you see prices decline over the course of this week, do not panic, do not freak out. Understand that that is being manipulated a little bit for the people that can dump it because they want to buy more. And just to show what that looks like, so earlier this morning around 5 a.m., like you see a dip like this on the minute chart in Bitcoin. And it's just people dumping 1,000 Bitcoin in leverage in a single minute. And JP Morgan put out a study, maybe it wasn't JP Morgan, but someone put out a study and showed that it only takes about $93 million, not billion, 93 million, to move the price of Bitcoin 1%, because it's not based on all the Bitcoin that we hold or that are already bought. It's about the price of what people are willing to pay or sell on the exchanges for the Bitcoin still available. So if they own Bitcoin and they want to dump the price because they want to buy more, or they want to short it and make more money than buy more, they load up their Bitcoin on these exchanges at multiple times leverage, which amplifies the bet, and they short Bitcoin, shake out the new investors, and then they buy more and continue to hold. So just something to keep in mind so that you're not having your stomach do fucking somersaults if you see the prices dip. Now, if we look at the space overall, that holds true as well for cryptos like Cardano. So Cardano was just listed on Coinbase Pro and then subsequently Coinbase last week over the course of a couple days. And everyone was looking at, hey, we could have a run to the upside upward of $2+ if everything went well. And what we wound up finding was there was a massive sell-off with some of the people that have accumulated a ton of Cardano, most likely because institutions are looking to buy. Cardano officially, as of last week, was the first crypto ever outside of Bitcoin or Ethereum to have over $1 billion in open interest on it. So a lot of people are taking note and they want to get in before the ship leaves. If you miss the boat, then you're fucked. You missed the boat. If they miss the boat, they try and bring the boat back to get on board before it sets sail. And you can see on the weekly price, we had that big dip right around when they were supposed to go live on Coinbase Pro. And if you're a new investor and you got in and bought Cardano, you might think, fuck, I just bought the top, and you start to panic and it's down a bit and you don't know what to do. There's a saying in crypto, and when in doubt, zoom out. And when we look at just the year, let's take a look at this. It was down at just a couple cents previous last fall. And overall, it was down even lower than that over the course of the bear market since the last bull run, and we're just getting started on this one. This is the dip that everyone's nervous about, right there. And compared to where everything else is at in the 1,500% rise that Cardano had, in the grand scheme of things right now in this bull run, it's not something to be afraid of. But people that are unaware of the larger picture of things tend to get very afraid. And I've had a lot of conversations with people on crypto Twitter just trying to get this information out. And they're like, yeah, I see people dumping, and they show that almost everyone that's selling are newer people to the space. And that's how those crashes happen. They dump that price really quick, and then it's a waterfall of new investors selling because they panic, and it lowers it even further, and then they buy whatever you sell. And I'll continue to say that in these videos because it is incredibly important. Now, if we look at the overall total market capitalization, excluding Bitcoin, and hopefully my face isn't blocking this, we are now in new all-time high territories with altcoins. So we're up to about $750 billion, so about 725 billion, give or take. And at the very peak of the last bull run, when everyone was jumping into altcoins, it was right around 530, 540 billion. So we are making good headway as far as that institutional money and other new investors coming into the space, as well as altcoins really getting some recognition from people in their utility cases and what they can do for industries and total ecosystems moving forward. So this is all incredibly bullish and exciting on a macro scale. Just sometimes on a micro scale, on a month-to-month, on a week-to-week basis, it can be very volatile, it can be very scary. So I try and give these larger concept views of what is happening. Now, one place that I look at as far as the altcoin season, there's a website, blockchaincenter.net. And I can link this in the description down below just so that you can go around and play with it. It's not like a website where you have to pay and it's showing a different language there because I'm using a VPN currently, but it will be in English when you jump in. But what this index does is it essentially shows whether or not we are in what's known as an alt season, which means that altcoins take dominance over where the money is going to in the crypto space, away from Bitcoin. That doesn't mean Bitcoin crashes. That just means most of the new money coming in is focused on altcoins as opposed to all flying into Bitcoin all at once. And right now we're very, very close to beginning an altcoin season. And let's look at the previous year data to show what I mean. So when I said the last altcoin season, where you had massive parabolic run-ups of different altcoins, mid caps, low caps. So a mid cap is anything under $1 billion. Some may say outside of the top 25, but I say under $1 billion. And small caps went up orders of magnitude around this time. That was the big DeFi explosion and when everyone was getting into those specific projects. And that was your Aave, Synthetics, Compound, all of those new ecosystems on the Ethereum network. And then over time, Bitcoin starts to take dominance. And you saw around this time last year, Bitcoin broke its old all-time high of $20,000. And then from November until January 11th, it went from $20,000 up to 41 and change before that first dump. And those same cycles occur inside these larger 4-year cycles. And if you're aware of those things, then you can, instead of dumping a ton of money into Bitcoin, if it's going to stay stagnant just for a bit while everyone is consolidating that price, you can focus on the altcoins that are available to you and try and make the most educated decisions as to which ones are going to succeed. And it is not lost on me that most people don't have tens of thousands of dollars to put into crypto. So the decisions that you make are very, very crucial to how you do over the course of this bull market. And if you are like, oh, I'll just pick one when it goes up, I'll sell it and trade it and move it. There are fees that you pay when you convert or when you trade things. And if you don't have a ton of money in, those fees will eat away at any profits that you make until you're doing more harm than good. So I want to make sure to try and get people educated enough that on their own, they can make good decisions as to where you want to invest your money so that you can sit through the remainder of this bull run in a very solid position. Now, right around that time that Bitcoin dumped a bit, we started to see altcoins pick back up again and start going parabolic. Now, a big ecosystem where that happened in was the Binance Smart Chain and Binance Coin over on Binance US or Binance. And they went up. Binance Coin went from like $40 up to 313. Their lending protocol Venus went up from, it was around $6, popped up to about 105. So even those larger projects really shot up, and that hasn't slowed down. That money has then flowed over into Cardano, it's flowed into Polkadot, it's flowed into different coins and ecosystems, and we are right on that cusp of breaking into our altcoin season right here. And that's where all of those are going to start really popping off, and you see a bunch of benefit. Now, around this time, after the altcoin season ends and we start going full on Bitcoin mode, I will take some profit off of the altcoins that I've made, and I will buy more Bitcoin with that money. And you don't have to. I just think that that is the wise thing to do. And a lot of people historically that have been in crypto for a long time, that's how they treat it as well. So you can stay and hold in those altcoins, and predominantly over time throughout the bull run, they'll probably continue to do well or not drop into the abyss. But they will receive a pretty significant correction when this trend reverses again. And we'll see one more of these reversals at the end of the bull run. When Bitcoin does its final correction and dumps down, the altcoins will go the most parabolic that they will over the course of this entire run. So it's a good time to start to educate yourself on how these cycles work. And this site actually breaks down some really cool data. So we can look at the top 50 performances over the last season. So over the last 90 days of this Bitcoin season and getting ready for everything in this next altcoin season, which ones have done the best? And you have everything from Terra Luna, and I'm going to cover a lot of these when I make each individual video about which ones on each exchange I like. But Terra Luna is up 4,700% compared to Bitcoin being up 150% over the last 90 days. So just looking at that, or Chiliz or Matic / Polygon, a lot of these coins are outperforming Bitcoin. And then you have a bunch that aren't for various reasons, some of which I warned you about, like Bitcoin Cash. I mentioned Monero being a privacy coin. It's hard to regulate. Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision that I called a wetter version of dog shit. So there are some that we understand aren't going to outperform Bitcoin, and there's Litecoin as well. I know there are some people that love Litecoin, but I'm telling you, its purpose and utility have fallen drastically over the course of the last couple years, just because its functions are being just replaced by better blockchains that don't necessarily need to be a underperforming attempted copycat of Bitcoin. And then you can break down how all the coins did in that moment. So you can see which ones did worse than Bitcoin over the last 90 days. And those are a lot of the ones that I don't necessarily believe in. And I'm going to make a separate video talking about why I'm not a fan of EOS, why I'm not a fan of, why I talked about Bitcoin Cash, why I'm not a fan of Stellar, why I don't like Tron. The only one over here on this list, well, there's two of them that I kind of like. Tezos, I have a couple issues with, and I'll go into those. But I like Celsius. The only problem is the exchanges that people can buy them on are subpar in my opinion. And if they can get listed on better exchanges, or they were also in talks with moving to the Cardano ecosystem when all of those new coins and smart contracts go live on the Goguen mainnet this summer, that could really impact them. But on the left-hand side, you can see all of the coins that outperformed Bitcoin, from anything to outperforming it by over 150%, just slightly, like Ethereum 195%, all the way up to the Luna Terras at 4,700%, or even VeChain that I've covered at 500%. Oftentimes, when it comes to investing any additional money beyond Bitcoin, you don't want to pick some of these larger, more well-known cryptocurrencies that if you look up like a fucking crypto article on Yahoo News or something, or the CNN or wherever, these are the ones they're going to be talking about because they've been around forever. They haven't made progress, but people are familiar with them. They have the name recognition. and you're going to see them continue to pop up by name. I do think, though, that there are benefits to avoiding them. And I would add NEO over to this list on the right as well. I do not like NEO. They just barely outperformed Bitcoin. But I think that for them to be able to turn things around, they would have to do a bunch of incredible stuff that I just don't foresee. And then you can check the performance over the last 30 days. Compared to Bitcoin, only up 2%, pretty stagnant as we get close to this altcoin season. And then you have the higher performers and the ones that have underperformed. There are underperformers on the right on the month that I really do like. I like Elron. I like Aave. I like BNB, just to name a few. But they've had their own specific issues recently, whether it's Aave scaling on the Ethereum network because they were congested, like we talked about previously. Elron going through a stage where they're trying to open up their next leg of staking in their third step on their roadmap. And I'm going to cover Elron separately in my Binance altcoin video picks because they are on Binance US. And then coins like Chainlink, where they already went up parabolically over the course of last year, and a lot of people that did really well, they were selling off a ton of their profits and kind of holding the price down a bit. But they have a bunch of exciting news, and I'm going to make my own Chainlink video just about Chainlink that will come out this coming week as well. And you can see how they perform just over the last 30 days, comparatively back and forth. So definitely good information for you to have access to and to study this as well. And you can check the top 50 over the past year as well. And of course, there's NEO over on the right, as it should be. And if you're putting your money into altcoins that aren't outperforming Bitcoin, then you're cutting yourself short, because altcoins should perform much better than Bitcoin just based on their market caps and being easier to move than Bitcoin's $1 trillion market cap. So it's a couple things to keep in mind, but hopefully this intro video gives you an idea of how this altcoin season is going to come down upon us, starting most likely around April as we get past this last dump at the end of March. And as we go through our videos talking about the altcoins that I believe in on the different exchanges, continue to do your own research. Ask me questions. If you have any that you're heavily invested in or that you want to invest in that I don't cover, point them out to me. Leave a comment. I'm happy to dive deeper into it or have a discussion. Once we get through all this base information over this first month of this channel being live, I'm going to start doing more live streams. And I want to have open conversations with anyone that sees me streaming, that wants to jump on and have those discussions about different coins or things that they want me to look into. Maybe it's something I haven't covered, and I'll pull it up and I'll dig through it and we'll look into it together and figure out whether or not I think it's a good project. And the other one, I'm going to make a separate video on Uniswap as well. Different low cap, long shot, people call them moonshots, but ones that I believe in that could go 50, 100x, like those really big parabolic run-ups. That video, I'm going to put the disclaimer on it when I put it out. That is for people that already have their crypto position. They have a little bit of money and they want to, that is where we get much, much closer to gambling. Because although I can research a project and I can do everything in my power to make sure I'm not putting my money into a shitcoin, a pump and dump, a rug pull, whatever you want to refer to it as, there still is no guarantee that any of these cryptos are going to go through the roof. There are 8,900 right there, 8,900 different cryptos on CoinMarketCap. And when it comes time to deciding which ones you're going to put your money into, there are only a few that are going to succeed. And that is where education comes into it. So I'm excited to bring this to you. And as always, if you could, like this video, please share. And if you haven't yet, but you watched a couple, please subscribe. The information we put out is really going to be helpful over the course of the next couple months with all the volatility and things that we see. And as you know, I'm pushing to get us to 100 subscribers before I repeat a single Hawaiian shirt. And I still got a couple left, but we're getting pretty close. We're at 74. We need 26 more. So I'd like to be able to knock that out over the course of this altcoin series. And thank you for joining me on this intro today on Viva La Coin. And I will catch you guys next time.